Michael, Trent, Michael. Pleasure be speaking with you both. Now, Michael, I'm going to give you a two-parter. I'm going to say
Okay.
first, how are you doing? And the second thing is, am I correct that you're less than $10,000 from the official fundraising coming through now?
I'm doing great, Darren. Thanks so much for having us. And yes, you are correct. We're about to hit the first milestone. We actually don't want to stop there. So we're hoping to continue to raise money. It's not cheap to make a TV series. So
Sure.
uh, yeah, we're just hoping that people will turn out and believe in the mission.
Fantastic. I mentioned that number outright because it's triple what it was when I first learned about the show a week and change ago. Okay, so now let's make it about Trent. Michael, how did you first encounter Trent? How did you learn about Trent?
Yeah, it's a seedy story, Darren. Very seedy.
Tinder.
I
Tinder.
believe it.
It's kind of crazy because the casting director brought Trent to my attention. Mark Fincannon, great casting director,
Hmm.
and come to find out that Trent has been friends with my brother Chris, who's also in the film industry for many years, especially when he was back in LA. And so that coincidence was pretty cool. And then we met up for coffee, and then he did an audition, a read, and I think I just lost my mind or something happened when I thought, wow, this is the guy. No, he's it. He's our Sam Gardner. He's our pastor.
Sure.
Don't let
Now,
the hair fool you, by the way.
Yeah, he chops it off
Yeah,
in person.
yeah.
Trent, does that background check out with what you remember, or is it a case of, no, I met Michael years ago?
Yeah, so in his old age, there is, a slight memory defect that's digressing.
Yeah.
Uh, no, it does. Like you said, I've actually known Chris for over 2 decades, actually. And we both happened to be in Austin. So when I got the call, and I got this opportunity from Mark, I think, didn't even realize that we were both in Austin. And so then when Michael and I found out, yeah, we met up for coffee, and yeah, the rest is history. I really related to this project, and I could just kind of put through having to work with Michael because I was so passionate about the role and the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thanks, Trent.
Well, a follow-up of sorts to that, Trent. 15, 20 years ago, you had to be in New York or LA to work as an actor. And these days, things are very different. You find out that so many people in entertainment are in Austin or Georgia or North Carolina or Colorado. They live wherever they want, basically. What or when did you move out to Austin, Trent?
Yeah, so that was one of the silver linings of the pandemic. Everything lifted virtually. Um,
Hmm.
I believe that's probably one of the reasons why Michael was in Austin, when he realized that, he could just work virtually. I've never physically worked in Austin,
Yeah,
uh,
same
except
here.
when I got to hang out with Michael.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's work.
yeah.
Figured.
Yeah, but I mean, everything's self-tape, and yeah, it's a blessing. I was in LA 17 years, before that in New York City for 3 years. And it's I love California. There's a lot of people that I love there and things about it. But it's nice to be able to live wherever you want to live. I have a son, family, so it felt like Austin was a great alternative to Los Angeles.
Same question for you, Michael, because obviously, because of the family lineage, we go, oh, those are Hollywood people. No, even if the work that your family did was meaningful, faith-oriented at times, etc., how did you wind up in Austin?
Yeah, so it was kind of a crazy story. My wife and I were beginning to discuss moving out of LA. It's not the
Hmm.
easiest place to raise children.
Hmm.
And I ended up having there was a book I wanted to go after called Race Hoss Big Emma's Boy. It was this really amazing story about this man, Albert Ray Sample, who was on the last of the Texas Chain Gang, and he had this life-changing experience. And so he went from murderer to this amazing human being. So, anyways,
Hmm.
I came to Austin to try to get the rights to the book, and thought, wow, this is kind of a cool place. This was back in 2005, I think 2004. I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure about the year. Anyways, called my wife, said, Austin's kind of cool. We kind of did some more homework and we decided to make the move.
Wow. So not that it's the me interview right here, but back in the day, all I knew about Austin was South by Southwest
Yeah.
was happening when it was really a music-centric festival. There's Stubbs Barbecue, Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was about it. And
Right.
nowadays, it seems like there's more happening in Austin than here in New York.
And I think there's going to be a lot more happening. If I'm not sure, did they pass the incentive, the tax incentive, film TV tax incentive?
It's looking really good. It
It's
was,
looking really good. So
yeah.
and they're building a massive studio out here.
Hmm.
So I mean, they're trying to draw work to Austin, Texas.
So the follow-up to that, Michael, Trent mentioned before, even though he lives in Austin, he hasn't really filmed in Austin. Any idea where this series will film once funded?
We're looking at a couple of different states, Darren. Georgia being one of them, Kentucky,
Mhm.
another, Oklahoma. So we're not exactly sure at this point. That'll be one of the steps we'll obviously take once we're funded.
Okay. Trent, back to you here. Hearing that you would be the ideal Sam Gardner, that is the role, etc. Um, how much prep have you already done for the role? How much going into the story arc have you done?
So I'm 41, and I think it's probably about 41 years. It's a lot of
Sure.
time. No,
Well,
there's
it is a Brooklyn pastor,
yeah,
and you did mention a couple of years in New York, so there are similarities right there.
Oh,
yeah,
there's more than that.
yeah, there's a lot of similarities. Sam is a musician, was a musician at least before he dropped that career to become a pastor of a Brooklyn church. So we both have that in common. He's a widowed pastor, so single dad,
Mhm.
single dad, not widowed, but single dad nonetheless. I also lived in Brooklyn. That was the last place I lived in New York. I grew up in the church family. There's a lot of synchronicities.
Gotcha. Where in Brooklyn were you living to get super inside baseball here? But you have to figure out, was he in tough Red Hook? Was he in more of a hipstery Williamsburg? Was he in a tough part? I want to hear that. Where in Brooklyn were you?
I mean, I imagine Michael can maybe answer it a little better for what he envisioned for backstory, but for me, it's he's a pastor, so not a lot of money, and it's not a mega church, so definitely a more rougher part of Brooklyn, probably.
Oh,
But
I was meaning you
oh,
personally.
You
me, me,
personally.
me, me,
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So I was actually in Williamsburg. I was on North 7th in Bedford, but this was 2000.
Oh, yeah.
This was 2004. So like you go past North Ninth, and you just don't walk there.
Oh,
So
well, one of my best friends still lives at North 6th in Bedford. So when you say '04, so you were there before the Starbucks and the CVS.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You were there at that pizza place that has that Tom Hanks, T. Hanks thing on the garbage bin.
exactly.
Okay. So you were hanging out with Interpol and the Strokes
Absolutely every night. Yeah, it was
every night.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that I learned that and all that, Michael, did you actually have time living in New York?
I've never, no. I mean, I've been several times, of course. Love New York, love the energy, but no, I've never lived there.
Got it. So this kind of a series, it's very interesting. It's very ambitious, Michael.
Yeah.
It's great to see that you're taking traditional values, but also using modern technology, modern philosophy, and guerrilla marketing. What inspired you to do all of that as opposed to the traditional groveling to networks?
Well, we did that. You know, this is a project we've been pursuing, my partners and I have been pursuing for close to 5 years now.
Hmm.
And so we actually had it set up at one of the main streamers.
Oh,
It was just, this kind of genre is really tough for them to get. And so we that's when we decided, okay, we're going to have to go outside the system in order to get this made. And so that's what we did. We went to Angel Studios.
so do you have an inspiration for the DIY kind of movement of TV making? In other words, is there one or two producers where you go, they're my inspiration for being able to do this, as opposed to just killing it because it didn't work at a network?
This business, and Trent can attest to this too, and Darren, I know you know this, which is this is a business of perseverance. I
Hmm.
mean, you just have to just no is not an option in this business. And if you're passionate about something, you just go and go and go until you can't go anymore. And so we so believe in this project. One of the mandates or one of the things that we really want to accomplish with this series is when I was growing up, you know, there was at least, an hour a week where the family would get together at one TV
Yeah.
and you would experience a story together. And that story could make you cry, could make you laugh. At the end of the day, it was a bonding experience with a family. Nowadays, there's 3+ TVs in every house. Everybody goes off and, streams or watches whatever they're interested in, and we've
Hmm.
lost that connection through storytelling. And so Home to Harmony is what, I'm hoping can kind of bring back that tradition. It's not that there isn't anything that's, not existing out there like it, but this one really, really has the potential to bring families together and actually make them closer, I believe. That's what Little House did to me, at least. And it was a precious time
Sure.
for my family and myself.
So the plan is to still film in the fall, assuming that all the funding is happening?
That is correct. That's our goal.
And how much of the show is written already?
So we are about halfway through the first season. But we've
Great.
mapped out everything, but we're about halfway through right now.
Now, question in a different direction here, Trent. We know that this one is happening. Are there any other projects for you, Trent, lately that you have coming up that you know are happening that we're allowed to know? In other words, things that the Hollywood Reporter embargoes aren't blocking you from announcing?
Yeah, I just produced a movie. I've also been producing
Hmm.
for quite some time now, 6 or 7 years. And so, yeah, I just produced a feature called AI Heart You, cautionary tale about AI. And that was up in Oregon. So, we're in post-production on that now. So,
So you produced it and you're on camera as well in that film?
yeah, I have a cameo on that. Yeah.
So
Yeah, a little
that's
bit of Trent is sometimes better.
Less is more.
Less is more. Exactly.
Well, what I'm hearing, Trent, is you started off with the musical roots and then being kind of a leading person on camera now that you've moved to a producer, but you're also on camera. Was that kind of the long-term goal to have a multifaceted career, or did that just happen organically?
Yeah, it always was. I'm really interested in every aspect of filmmaking. I love solving problems, and I think that's what this business is. Expecting problems and try to get ahead of it before it pops up.
Michael, his just saying that he likes solving problems, was that a jab at you?
Oh,
Oh, you
he
know,
can't be solved.
I'm unsolvable. Is that what you just said, Trent?
Yeah, yeah. I've also learned throughout this process with Home to Harmony the
Yeah,
level of acceptance one can achieve to,
yeah,
take on. So
yeah. Thank you, Trent.
it's too bad we don't have any fun, him and
No, no, that's not a word we use in our relationship.
I.
Apparently. And so, Michael, for you, Home to Harmony, long time in the works. Do you have other irons in the fire? Or is all the focus on Home to Harmony for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, in this business, you do have to keep a few irons in the fire for sure. So we just got picked up for season 13 of When Calls the Heart, which is a series I created.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. We have a spinoff that's airing right now, When Hope Calls. I have a documentary that I'm working on that is race reconciliation and forgiveness called The Dream King, based on a true story. What else? I have a novel that I co-wrote, co-authored that's out May 1st, called Literary Chaos, and it's geared towards YA crowd, so seventh graders up.
It's
So
all
yeah,
great.
what's that, bud?
I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about it. So hopefully, teens will get out there and get the book. So yeah, and then other projects that are in different phases, but that's, yeah, you gotta keep on.
So what I'm hearing from both of you, you're both in Austin, you're both going to be working on Home to Harmony, but you also are undefinable people, meaning too many job titles. You can't just go, what do you do for a living? You go, actor. Both of you can't do that. What do you do for a living? Director. Doesn't comply, doesn't compute. So, Michael,
Film
I'm
and
glad you
TV.
have all those projects going. When calls to heart, I think that most people would assume that creators of the show would be on autopilot by season 5. Glad to hear you're actually still day to day involved in the whole thing. Now, the follow-up question to that is, when did you know that that show was going to be going more than, say, 2 seasons?
You take it season by season. You never know if the audience is going to show up, if the network is going to continue to pick you up. So it's a crazy blessing. I mean, we had no idea we would last 13 seasons. Nobody does.
Right.
Kind of unheard of in this day and age, or actually, period. But we've got a great ensemble cast. It is a well-oiled machine. Got great showrunners. And we have the Hardys, which is our fan base. They are the greatest fans on the planet. They're heartfelt, they're devoted. So grateful to them.
Well, I'll throw the last question to Trent, and it has nothing to do with Home to Harmony. We'll just keep saying Home to Harmony so the SEO and the algorithm picks it up. And that's
Oh,
what we're
sorry,
saying.
you cut out for a second. Did you say Home to Harmony?
I did say Home to Harmony,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's Trent. What's the last concert that you went to?
The last concert that I went to, uh, oh, it was my son's talent show, actually. He played a song. I mean, if you can say that that's a concert.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Are you allowed to say what he performed at that talent show?
It was a song by Jelly Roll, actually, and he's 9 years old. So, yeah, it was pretty fun.
So your son goes for the high notes.
He does, yeah, yeah. I mean, it hasn't dropped yet, so it's not a stretch.
Can you top that one, Michael? Can you top the last concert over Trent's son's talent show?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Can't even come close.
Well, I want to thank you both for your time. Congrats on the reaching the fundraising goal by the time that this is posted, because that's looking to happening. Congrats in advance on filming in the fall, and looking forward to both of your future projects. And it's wonderful to see how you two are so lighthearted and able to get along, unlike most leading actor director kind of relationships.
Yeah. Oh, and to see the project, if you go to angel.com/harmony, you'll be able to, be a part of it.
Check it out, please.
Paltrocast.